Hi, I'm Tinny from Mini Bowl Design, and today I'm going to talk about the SS stoves. So let's move the camera in and get this going. Okay, this is the SS2 as you will receive it. Comes in a bag. Stove is in the carry case, and it also comes with a parts kit which has a spare tube for the snorkel, some extra wick material so you can make maybe 3 or 4 different wicks, and an extra stove body. You may never use this stuff, but it comes with the kit in the bag. Okay, now the basic SS2, let's start with just the basic SS design. This one is my stove, and I've been baking with it. Okay, this is your basic SS1 stove. Now, your fuel line hooks on here. Slide it right on. It's got a wick in the top, silicone body, and there's a snorkel inside. Now, this snorkel is a secret to the whole thing, as in SS snorkel stove. When the fuel comes in, it goes up and comes out the top of the snorkel, and then water falls back down into the stove. Yeah, whatever. But what's important is when you let off of your fuel bottle and there's a vacuum in the bottle and it tries to pull the fuel back out of the stove, which is a problem, it can't. It just pulls air from the top of the snorkel and all the alcohol in the stove stays in the stove. So you get a really long burn time because you're burning all the alcohol in the stove, not just what the wick could soak up before the bottle sucked it all out. And you guys that have got a regular 4 1/8 ounce nipple cap without a snorkel stove know what I mean. I make a gravity cap that kind of gets around this, but this is even easier. Okay, now there's 3 models. There's this basic SS1, which is a snorkel stove, and that's this. This comes with a carry case that is also the reserve, and it doesn't have a snorkel. Okay, and how it works is you just put your fuel line on the stove, and just like the choke hazard, you put the fuel line through the reserve, just like the choke hazard, and then get everything squared up here. Okay, there's basically what you have right there. And you put your fuel in here, and that fills the stove. And as long as you don't put fuel in higher than the top of the stove, you're fine. And that'll burn like 20 minutes. If you fill this up to like right here, you can burn like 20 minutes. Keep the wick down low like that. It's good for baking, good for simmering. You can put in a longer wick and go all the way up to here if you want to and get a fast boil. But you have to adjust the wick to go from one to the other. And the whole thing goes right back in the carry case. And your fuel line goes in the top goes on. Okay, that's the cub. So we've gone over the SS1, which is just a strip stove, comes with nothing except the stove with a snorkel. This is a cub. Then we get to the flagship stove, the SS2. Now, the only reason why it's a 2 is because it's a kit. Comes only as a kit. It's basically just an SS1 with a snorkel, but it comes in a kit. Okay, there's your basic kit. Take the cap off, and in the top of the kit is a super cap. Has a rubber gasket inside. Has a locking mechanism to lock your tube. You unwind the fuel line, screw this onto your fuel bottle, and then you take this end, and here's your stove. Put your fuel line on your stove, and there you have it. So there's an SS2. Now, what's different is you're fueling this not with the reserve, but with the cap. You screw this on your fuel bottle, It's got a snorkel in it. It fills up to the top, and then when you let off on the bottle, the fuel stays in the stove. Run about, I don't know, 7 minutes on a fuel. This is a fairly high wick. This would be for a fast boil. And unlike the Cub, if you want to, or the original SS1, if you want to lower your flame for simmer or bake, this one comes with a simmer ring that drops over it and gives you a lot lower heat for bake or simmer. And it also comes with, like I said, comes with the extra wicks. You can make different length wicks and the tubing and the snorkel tube. And it all try to show you how this folds back up. That goes down in there. Then you wrap it around here. And trying to get this so the camera can see it. Slide that back in there. There you have it. So you put the simmer ring on your stove upside down. Put your stove in your carry case. Put your super cap in there. Put your cap on. Ka-ching, ka-chang. And it has a piece of carbon felt top and bottom to keep it from rattling. So that's what you get. Now you probably want to see this stove burning, so let me turn out the lights and we'll fire one of these up. They all burn the same and you can see the flame pattern on it. Okay, just started up. Here's the SS1, SS2 with the wick pulled up fairly high. That's a good strong flame, good hot stove. Will boil water depending on the condition. I hate to quote any boil time because there's so many variables, but you know, it's like a 6-minute boil time. So let me take the camera off and put a short wick in and show you what it looks like in simmer mode with just simply a shorter wick. Okay, that's with a short wick, and that's simmer mode, baking mode. Put the wick right down flush with the top of the stove, maybe even down inside just a little bit. And that'll bake just fine. On one fill, you can do a complete bake, no problem. Have fuel left over. And if you have left over, you can pour back in the bottle. So, I'm Tinny from Mini Bolt Design. Try to have a really great day. Try to have some fun today. You deserve it. Bye-bye.